beautiful morning to you, our esteemed listeners. This is Carnival Radio Enjoyment Unlimited Station. We sincerely apologize for starting behind schedule. It was due to system upgrade. This is Carnival Radio Breakfast Show, and this is Newspaper Review. I am Ibrahim Adebayo. These are the headlines in the news. Food crisis may worsen as flood hits 10 states. Police detective hunt 20 varsity student adopters. Selfish leaders holding Nigerian down, says Obasanjo. Fake degrees. FG orders facilities to submit matriculation list. Troops neutralize Boko Haram command. Orders in Oyo State. The news in detail. Food crisis may worsen as flood hits 10 states. Following the flood that have ravaged farmland in the northern part of the country, agricultural experts and big-time players in the agro-ally industry have sounded the alarm over an impending food crisis across the country as agricultural fortunes dip in the north. The experts insist that unless urgent and very drastic steps are immediately taken, the crisis may worsen as floods continue to ravage farmland in the northern part of the state. 10 states, namely Kaduna, Kano, Jigawa, Nasarawa, Taraba, Bauchi, Zamfara, Yobe, Sokoto, and Kebbi State are highly affected following heavy rainfall in the region. In an interview with newsmen, an agricultural investor in Toro local government of Bauchi State, Bello Yakasai, urged the federal government to declare an emergency in the food sector across the country. Yakasai for that state stated further that why the situation, he said, and I quote, why the situation we are currently experiencing in the north can be said to be a peculiar one. It is high time that the federal government declare a state of emergency in the country agricultural sector. Newspen investigations shown that continuous rainfall across the region pose a threat to graze and farmland, which could lead to poor harvest and hunger as farmland battle the scourge of drought. For more details on the news, you can visit the Daily Punch newspaper. Food crisis may worsen as flood hits 10 states in the northern part of the country. Police detective hunt 20 varsity student adopters. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has sent more detectives to Benue State to help in the rescue of the adopted medical student. Record that 20 medical students of the University of Maiduguri and the University of Jos traveling to Enugu were kidnapped in Otukpa, Enugu Road on Thursday evening. The students were traveling for the Federation of Catholic Medical and Dental Student Annual Convention in Enugu when they were adopted. Egbetokun had on Saturday ordered the deployment of tactical operative and assets to ensure the prompt rescue of the kidnapped medical students. It's also directed that the deployment of the helicopters, drones and tactical vehicles, among others, to facilitate the rescue of the student. In a statement yesterday, the Force Public Relations Officer Muyiwa Adejobi disclosed that the police boss had sent more detectives to the state, calling for the support of the citizen. Adejobi commended citizens who have been giving the police vital information secretly, urging those disclosing such on social media to desist from such. The University of Jos Alumni Association yesterday said and called for the release of the 12 students of the institution who were among the adopted students. The chairman of the association in Benue State, Gad Peter, made the call in a statement yesterday. Peter, who condemned the adoption, described the incident as danger to the search for education and knowledge in the country. For more details on the news, you can visit the Daily Punch newspaper. Police detective on 20 varsity adopters. Selfish leaders holding Nigerian down, says former President Obasanjo. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has said Nigerians would have been much better and occupy a place of pride in the world, but it's problem of self-centered leadership. Apart from being self-centered, Nigerian leaders, according to President Obasanjo, also have a knowledge deficit. The former president spoke on Saturday in Abeokuta, the Oyo State capital, during the 2024 edition of the Leadership Empowerment International Conference. The conference featured the conferment of Doctor of Leadership and Theology Award on some Nigerian by the South African-based Emmanuel Theology Institute International in conjunction with Priesthood Leadership Development Initiative based in Nigeria. Obasanjo commended the international coordinator of Priesthood Leadership Development Initiative, Professor Olusesi Obateye, and the president of the South African-based Institute, Professor Fanden Beg Edward Alfred, for recognition and encouraging some Nigerian leadership. Earlier, Obateye, who spoke on the theme of the conference, Responsible and Responsive Leadership, lamented the day of the good leaders, saying it was responsible for Nigerian underdevelopment almost 64 years after independence. Meanwhile, in the related development, Obasanjo said Nigerian problem would continue to delve solution until the country began to field itself. They stated this when a delegation from the Niger State, comprising commissioners and special advisors to the governor Muhammad Bago, paid him a courtesy visit in his Abeokuta, Oyo State home at the weekend. Governor Bago's special advisor on print media, Aisha Wakaso, made this known in a press statement released yesterday. For more details on the news, you can visit the Daily Punch newspaper. Selfish leaders or the Nigerian Dan, says former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Fake degrees. Federal government order facilities to submit matriculation list. The federal government of Nigeria has mandated all higher institutions in the country to regularly submit their matriculation list to the Federal Ministry of Education not later than 3 months after matriculations. ceremonies. The list, the government said, must be submitted through the dedicated channel of the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board. The initiative is one of the recommendations made by a committee set up by the federal government to combat fake degree mills or racketeers in the country. In March, the federal government set up an interministerial investigative committee on degree certificate milling to probe the activities of certificate racketeers following an investigation report published by the Daily Nigerian, which exposed the activities of fake degrees in Nigeria. The investigation report, which exposed the illegality perpetrated by some tertiary institutions in the West Africa countries led by Nigerian government, placed a ban on accredited and evaluation of degree from Benin Republic and Togo. The Minister of Education, Tair Mama, have received the report of the committee, noted that the order of fake degrees from Nigerian and foreign universities will be flushed out of the system. For more details on the news, you can visit the Daily Punch newspaper. Fake degrees, federal government order facilities to submit matriculation list. Troops neutralize Boko Haram commander. Order in Borno State. Troop of the Nigerian Army have neutralized a notorious Boko Haram commander, Abu Rija, and other terrorist fighters in an offensive operation. This is contained in a post on the Nigerian Army official X handle yesterday. The army said the operation took place in Bula Daluye, Bama local government area of Borno State. It further said that the successful operation was in addition to the surrender of numerous terrorists and their families to the troop as a result of the sustained pressure against their enclave. The army said the troop also arrested several criminals, suspects, and recovered arms and ammunition. It said that the investigation revealed that the weapon was recovered during a joint operation against terrorists in Bokilamba, a border town in Plateau State. In Plateau, the army said its troop apprehended 2 suspected criminal elements in Rico area of Jos North local government area. According to the army, troops also recovered a fabricated rifle and mobile phones containing images of various calibers of the armies and ammunition. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tawhid Lagbaja, commended the troops for their resilience and commitment. For more details on the news, you can visit the Daily Post newspaper. Troops neutralize Boko Haram commander. Orders in Borno State. Before we bring the newspaper review to a close, these are the headlines. Food crisis may worsen as flood hits 10 states. Police detective hunts 20 varsity students, adopters, selfish leaders holding Nigerians down, says former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Fake degrees. Federal government order varsity to submit matriculation list. Troop neutralize Boko Haram commander. Orders in Borno State. And that ends the newspaper review on Carnival Radio. Thank you so much for listening. I am Ibrahim Adebayo. You can download the Carnival Media app from the Google Play Store and iOS App Store. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Carnival Breakfast Show continue.